Hey everyone, what we're going to be talking about today is mean, median, mode, and range. Let's get started. All right, so what I've got here already is a few definitions already written out. I will explain each as we go along. So when I talk about the mean of a data set, I'm talking about the average of it. How we're going to calculate that is we have to calculate the mean by finding the sum of the data points, and then we're going to divide by how many data points we have. When I talk about the median is going to be the middle number, and I have to think about two different things when it comes to calculating median. Do I have an odd number of data, or do I have an even number of data? How we calculate median depends on if it's odd or if it's even. So for example, if I have an odd number of data, like 1, 2, and 3, finding the middle number is pretty easy. The middle number here is just 2, so the median is 2. But if I have an even number of data, well, I've got two middle numbers. So then I need to figure out, okay, well, what's in the middle of those two? Basically finding like what's the middle of the middle. So what I've got going on here is 2.5. I can really easily see that the middle number between 2 and 3 is 2.5. But what I'm really doing there is I'm finding the average of the two middle numbers. And I'm going to show you kind of how that looks in a different example below. The mode is going to be the data point that occurs the most often. And then the range is the difference. And when I say difference, what I'm talking about is subtraction. So I'm going to find the difference between the highest and the lowest data points. All right, let's jump right into an example here. So here what we have is a bunch of test scores. I have 20 test scores, and we're going to assume that all of these are in percent. So first, let's calculate the mean. The mean is going to be where I take the sum of all 20 of these data points, and then I'm going to divide it by how many points that I have. So let's do that. We're going to bring up our calculator. So what we need to do is to find the mean of this data. So first, let's find the sum of all 20 data points. If you have a number here like 55 that is happening twice, make sure that you include it twice in your calculation. Same with 70. 70 is showing up 3 different times, so we want to make sure that we're putting that in 3. Okay, and what we get here for a total or for a sum is 1,348. What we need to do is to take this number and divide it by the number of values that I have. In this case, that's 20. So we're going to take my answer and we're going to divide that by 20, and that's going to be our mean. So our mean is 67.4%. Awesome. Okay, from here, we're going to talk about then the median. So the median is the middle value. Like I said, when I talked about odd number of data versus even number of data, in this case, I had 20 data points. So the two middle numbers are 70 and 74. Notice here that my data was already written in increasing fashion. So it went from the lowest number to the highest number. If it is not written this way, you need to write it from increasing to decreasing or decreasing to increasing. You need to have your numbers in order so you can then identify the middle numbers very easily. To find the average of two numbers, we're going to take those numbers, we're going to add them up, and we're going to divide by 2. It's like how we just calculated the mean. So we'll have 70 plus 74. We'll divide it by 2, and I get 72. So my median is 72%. All right, the mode is going to be the number that happens the most. So when I look at this data, the number that happened the most is 70. I can see that that happened 3 times, and I didn't have any other data point that happened. So then my mode is just going to be 70%. Last thing, my range. The range is going to be the difference between the highest number and the lowest number. Well, the highest number is 96. The lowest number is 50. So all I'm going to do is take the difference between those two. And what I have is 46%. All right, if you have any questions about this video, please let me know and have a good day.